Hi all, welcome to Exam Shala. In this video, we are going to see some important news and articles of 11th of March 2021. But before we getting started, kindly do like, share, subscribe our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Exam Shala, Instagram page, Facebook and Telegram. Now let's get started to the main topic. First news is the cabinet gives note for FDI of the limit insurance to 74%. Initially it was 49%. Now it has been increased to 74%. That means the insurance sector, the sector like banking, manufacturing and insurance, these are the key sectors for an economy in the modern world. स्पेशली आज की दुनिया में जब ग्लोबल वर्ल्ड है जहाँ पर बड़ी बड़ी इकोनॉमी चल रही हैं तो उसमें इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर जो है वन ऑफ द की ड्राइवर्स ऑफ द इकोनॉमी एंड सर्विस सेक्टर का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्टर है आफ्टर आईटी रिलेटेड सर्विसेज. Now, what this news means? This news means FDI, that is foreign direct investment. The company of outside the India can invest 74%, up to 74% in the Indian companies, providing insurance to the Indian citizens and Indian monetary markets, bond markets, security market, debt markets, health securities, life security, life insurances, bike insurance, third party insurances. So these type of insurances will be now be, initially it was up to 49%. That means if a company is having 49% of the share and 51% will be in the hands of the Indian company, that where indirectly the sole owner or the author or the sole proprietor of the company would have been the Indian player, but now they have been allowed 74%. So the market has been kept open for the FDI investments or investors to have to gain up to 74% of the shares. That means virtually giving them all the powers of the company to establish, to run, to accommodate, to manage, to decide, CEO of the same companies. Okay, so chief executive officer, chief operating officer, chief accounting officer, these all can be appointed by those companies who are actually paying for it. So 74% has been allowed in the insurance sector, just like the LIC, it's a government owned company. Other companies like HDFC, IFCO Tokyo, ICICI, Life Prudential, Health Prudential, other medical services. So this is opening the market, a complete game changer. Economists are saying it will be a game changer in the set of investment sector or health sector or security sector, and this is going to give boost to the security and debt market, especially the investment. People save money to invest in future. Now in order to save this money in the bank, now people will invest in the form of insurances, other premiums and insurance, and these other premiums after getting maturity will leave them, or is going to give them a better results or better ROI, that is better revenue, and this will increase their saving also. And these insurance companies will be having money, and this money will be invested in the capital market as well as the money market, which will indirectly be the giving kind of loans to the manufacturing sector, small sectors, and which will boost the economy. So this is a complete all around process of the investment and investment related savings, which is indirectly going to fund the capital market or the money market, that is the recapitalization of the banks. And when the bank will be having the money, they will be spending in the economy, leading to the boost and growth in the market of the smaller sectors, construction sector, and that will lead the whole of the cycle of the economy. So this was the important news, and further more modalities are going to come. So there will be a lot of explained series, columns, writers followed to this article. So we will waiting for this and we'll explain it in detail, its pros, cons, okay, what are its advantages, disadvantages, we'll see all over the moment it has been announced. Now you will be seeing day by day, one after day another, tomorrow, 2 days after, you will getting a complete explained series on this. So we will take this matter in further brief detail in that time. Now let's move on to the next topic. Now, recently, the incident you might have seen in the Tirath Singh Rawat case. ठीक है, recently the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand has been replaced. It was initially Trivendra Singh Rawat, now this has been Tirath Singh Rawat. And based on this, there has been an article in this. So it is basically saying that initially large states were considered to be unstable, politically unstable. Okay, big states, difficult to administer. The distance between the common people and the government and the chief ministers and the ministers got widened, okay, because of this length, voluminous law and order problem. And people thought that there will be a political instability in the larger states like UP, Rajasthan, MP, in the forecast, the merged before bifurcation, Bihar, Jharkhand, these larger states were thought to be politically unstable. because of their large volumes and large sizes. Okay, the distance between the common people and the politicians and the ministers executive, basically due to three reasons. One is the larger population, and second is the vastness of that entire land. But what is proving here is that instability is not something related to the vastness of the state, but it is also dependent upon the polity of that particular state, the nature of polity of the particular state. Now such smaller states like Uttarakhand, in their establishment of just 20 years, have seen 9 new chief ministers in comparison to other big states where the political stability is much more better in comparison to those smaller states. So the very idea of establishing smaller state to get political stability, goodwill of the people, better administration capacity is actually proving to be counterproductive. That is, the smaller states are becoming more and more politically unstable, and the live example of this is the recent Uttarakhand case. So it has been discussed in polity, but what we can know in this from this column or this article is that the thought process or the reason behind bifurcating the larger states into smaller states was the administrative capacity and the efficiency. But what is actually happened due to such small states? Since these states are small, the opportunity to the leaders are also small, and that is why they are always in rush to get more attention, more benefits, and this leads to complete infighting between the leaders. Since they are having less opportunities to grow and less efficiency to grow, they are fighting among themselves, and that is why there is a complete political chaos and instability in such smaller states, which is leading to the change in the administration day by day. None of the chief ministers, especially in case of Uttarakhand, only one chief minister has completed 5 year term. Rest, none of them has completed the 5 year term, and that also the chief minister was first chief minister, Mr. N.D. Tiwari. After that, none of the chief minister has completed 5 year term. And in this case, the political discussion was this: the ex chief minister, Mr. Trivendra Singh Rawat, he wanted to shift a capital from Dehradun to Gairsand as a summer capital, and there is a rift in Uttarakhand between the hilly people, that is Garhwal and Kumaon. So there are two sets of people, Garhwal people and Kumaon people, and Gairsand is between them, and Dehradun is at Garhwal region. So he wanted to shift the capital from Garhwal to in the between of Garhwal and Kumaon, and that led to the political instability and political disgracement between the people from the Kumaon and the Garhwal. And this was the basic reason, the basic political reason, because or that is that main the reason for its falling of the government. Okay, his government fell apart because of the lack of support from the Gadwali people, as they thought that they are shifting the capital without their consent from Dehradun to Gairsand. Okay, so this is the all political reasons. What we have understood is that smaller states which are actually been determined or actually been formed for getting more political and administrative stability are actually producing or proving to be counter to that. That is, they are counter stability and they are having a counter protective political stability as well. Now let's move on to the next topic. Mind the gap. Now this is very interesting topic by Mr. Vivek Devrao. He is actually the one of the chief economic advisors initially in the PM's committee. So PM Economic Advisory Committee, he was a member of that, and he's written a wonderful article on the mindset of the people behind development. Now we want India to be a developed country, but what are our mindset? Our mindset is shown by certain two examples here. We'll see what examples. Initially, the government is establishing solar based energy street lights in the streets. Now what the people are doing, they are actually stealing these lead storage batteries and taking it home and using it for their own purpose. So at one point we need to be more developed. We want more advanced technology, government to spend more on the modernification, advanced technology, okay, upgradation of the technology. We want everything, but what are our views? What are our standards? What we are doing is we are stealing those solar lithium batteries and using for our own purpose. So development at which cost? There might have been an economic development of the society, but ideological development or social development, and very importantly, the most importantly, moral development. The society is lacking the moral development. And when we are talking about, and when we are comparing with our government with the western government, our country situation, our public infrastructure with the public infrastructure of the western countries, we should also compare our way of style, way of thinking, morality, living standards, social standards with these western countries as well. How the citizens of these countries behave, act, support the government, and how do we behave, act, and support the government. So this is what he's saying. He's giving another example, the manhole. India is the largest supply of the manhole. Manhole means the cover of the gutters. So India supplies largest amount of manhole, that is cast iron manholes, to USA and other European countries. But we have, you might have seen, in India we are using ceramic, that is cement made manholes. Why? Because what is happening in India is people are actually stealing these manholes. Okay, so people are actually stealing these iron made covers, and they are melting it and they are selling it to the kind of a rough sections, and they're selling it for money. Okay, so what is happening is, the purpose of the public infrastructure, people are stealing those manholes and they are selling it to the scrap for money. And that is why we are continuously facing the shortage of manholes and lids. And so government has decided, or government has actually initially decided, to move away from this metal cast form to cement form. So he is actually commenting on the society which at the one side wants development, compares its public infrastructure, its development with the Western countries. But what is actually he's doing? What are our standards? What are our contributions? Are we contributing the same which the Western citizens are contributing to the Western countries? Are we behaving like the same manner? No, we are not behaving. We are stealing the manholes, we are stealing the street lights, we are stealing the, recently the incident of Tejas Express. Okay, we steal the earphones, tablets, microphones from those railway stations. So at one side we are comparing our systems with another country, but we are not comparing our behavior with the people's behavior of another developed countries. So he is actually commenting on it, that is, we as a country, as a citizen, as a group of citizens should develop, or should be mature enough in order to accept or accommodate such kind of economic and social development when we compare ourselves to the western countries. Now, very interesting news is coming from the South India, that is the Kerala. The CPM, Communist Party Marxist, has decided a new rule, that is only two times. That is, only ministers will be giving only two times tickets. No MLA will be given two times, more than two times ticket. That is, only it will be allowed for 2 years. That is two terms. First term for 5 years, another for 5 years. That is maximum 10 years. A person from the CPM party will be given ticket for the maximum of two terms. Why? Because the number of cadres have been increasing, and what is happening? There has been a increase in the one man show. Okay, one man show in the politics. The one man show in the politics means he is going to get in the seat till he lives. Other small karyakartas and volunteers and many other peoples will not get any kind of chance in participation in the election, and that is why they will be disencouraged in order to participate. And that is what happening. CPM membership was declining down. In order to accommodate all those members, all those volunteers, and to give them fair chances, the party has decided that maximum a person can get ticket from the CPM at the maximum two times. And that is why it is one of the most evergreen or coming out reforms, a kind of a political reform, way forward in the kind of a political reform. And what kind of political reforms India needed now? So India needs some specific kind of political reforms from the party, that is at least 30 to 33% of reservation to the women in the political ticket. So they have decided in the parliament, but they have not actually implemented it. So parties should be deciding it from the very party system on. They should give 33% of the reserved seat to the women. Okay, some seat to the minorities, and they should fix a term limit. So CPM has set a limit, and it should be welcome step. It is a welcome step, and you can see such parties like bigger parties like UPA, BJP, Congress, these should also accept these kind of rules and regulation in order to get fair chances by the common peoples, common karyakartas, common volunteers, and so that the politics will be inclusive, not it will be carried by a one man show. Now, one of the important international and national news, you might have heard about the Vaccine Maitri scheme. The Vaccine Maitri scheme is the government is distributing vaccine to its neighborhood and friendly countries. But based on this, there has been a case in the High Court and said that you are distributing vaccines outside the country, but the people or the citizen of our own country are not getting it. There is an insufficient shortage of it, and you should not use it. So the court has ordered in it that in order to gain goodwill, we should first fill the home, and then we should work on the goodwill developing of the country in the foreign relation. That is, foreign relations are also important, but at most government is responsible for the health and benefit of its own people. So first we should secure our priorities, our demands, our needs, and then we will move towards the foreign donation Maitri. So this has been news. So what we can be asked that what is Vaccine Maitri? So Vaccine Maitri is nothing but it is a program of a soft diplomacy where India is selling or India is giving out of free cost its poor neighbors or the neighborhood extended neighborhood countries vaccines, mostly the Covaxin or Serum Institute's Covishield. Now, two important news. Recently, in the last video, we discussed about the Aam Aadmi Party's Desh Bhakti budget. Now, based on this, the author has commented, sarcasm, taunted this government by saying or by quoting important historian James Bryce British. He said, patriotism is not about waving the flag, but it is driving the country to the righteous and strong. सिर्फ झंडा फहराने से, not just by waving the flags, you cannot make your country great. It is not patriotism. You take the flag of your country and wave it all day long. That is not patriotism. You strive, you make effort, you do such things that will actually lead the country to a higher pinnacle level, at a higher zenith level, and that is actually true patriotism. So this is the answer to the last day budget, that was the Aam Aadmi Party's budget, which instituted for 500 flags all around Delhi and divested an amount of 50 crore rupees, near about 50 crore rupees for such flags. So this is a comment, kind of a sarcasm on this event, that by only developing flags and by only flourishing the flags of your country will not make you patriot. What will make you more patriot is leading to the real development and thriving and emergence of your country as a better economy, better defense, better society, better administration, and that is actually true patriotism. Another is a Covaxin. Many of the organizations have demanded that Covaxin should be termed out of the emergency use status as it has passed its third day trial. So we'll see what is the clinical trial mode level. So clinical trial mode level is basically the vaccine is in this last phase and it has not completed its phase 3 trials, and that is, if in that case a patient gets severe or adverse reaction, he will have to be compensated by the company. Also, the company will have to continuously send the data of research and related data to the respected authority like Drug Authority, DGCI, Drug Controller General of India, and all CDCSCO in order to get approval. But nowadays what happened, government formed a committee that was subject expert committee, and this committee has proposed that the Covax vaccine of the Covishield or Covaxin of the Bharat Biotech has actually passed this phase 3 clinical trials, and so it should be kept out of the clinical trial mode and it should be made general use. So it should be allowed for general use because it has completed its clinical trial mode, and that is why it should be made general to the public. So point of importance is there are two points. One is which committee? The subject expert committee, constituted by whom? Government. And which vaccine? Covaxin, developed by Bharat Biotech. Okay, and some other two important news. One is MV Swarna Krishna. It is an oil tanker. The famous thing about it, or the important thing about it, is an all-woman tanker. It started from Mumbai, reached to Wadinar port in Gujarat. Another is GP Samanta. He is appointed as chief statistician. A statistician is which keeps all the data, figures, graphs of the country, the census, and it is all under him. So see, the chief justice of the country is GP Samanta, and MB Swarna Krishna is what? An oil tanker, that is all women, led from Mumbai to Wadia in Gujarat. So this was all for today's news. We'll see you tomorrow with the next set of news. Thank you. Have a good day.